tragedy from the last episode can still be felt at the start of episode 10. We learn from a flashback that Chairman Jeon finally contributed something by tracking down the victims' families. If he is considered crazy and ruthless, his brother is 100 times that. So together, they came up with a plan to get rid of the families as well as Director Gil. Chae-yeon barges into the police station, demanding a proper investigation because she does not believe for a sec that the victims' families committed group suicide. Unfortunately, the police have been bought out a long time ago and has ruled the case as suicide already. Seeing no point in arguing with them, Vincenzo drags Chae-yeon out before she gets arrested again. They go to the morgue to say their final goodbyes to the families. Chae-yeon feels guilty for what's happened and is more determined than ever to find the real boss behind all this. Vincenzo is also furious at the innocent lives lost and vows to unleash his whole demon and do whatever it takes to overcome true evil, including killing the mastermind. Chae-yeon doesn't disagree. Getting right to work, Vincenzo hunts down the detectives on the case and records them in the act of sorting out the bribery money. He beats both of them up real good and then transports them unconscious to the top of an abandoned building. They are tied onto these rolly office chairs, and with every sentence that Vincenzo utters, he kicks them closer and closer to the edge of the building. Vincenzo asks for them to investigate the suicide case properly as a murder case and then resign. Doesn't want to free fall to their deaths, the detectives quickly agree to his demands. On the other side, CEO Han of Woosun Law calls Chairman Jeon out for a secret meeting. He's obviously scared shitless of psycho Jeon Jung-woo and wants to find a way to escape from the ticking time bomb. Unfortunately, his friend Miss Choi tells him that the fact that they know who Jeon Jung-woo even is means that their heads are already on the chopping block, so they better make sure that they serve their master well. Unwilling to give in without a fight, CEO Han tells Chairman Jeon that he's been running Babel so well so far, and since no one knows that Jeon Jung-woo even exists, maybe he should consider ruling Babel for real, meaning you should ask your brother one way or another. At first, Chairman Jeon puts on a show of being offended that CEO Han would even dare to think about betraying his brother, but eventually he falls victim to flattery, and I guess these two idiots start to form a natural alliance. Mr. Cho calls a meeting with Vincenzo and basically questions why a nice mafia guy like him is wasting all his time acting like a justice warrior. Translation: can we friggin' please focus on the gold? Vincenzo tells him to be patient and to give him some time to tie up loose ends, but Mr. Cho went against his wishes and filed a complaint with the Ministry of Buddhism stating that the monks at Gunga Plaza are corrupt. I can't imagine Vincenzo being very happy about this treatment of his spirit counselor. At the same time, Vincenzo gets a call from his old friend and henchman in Italy, telling him that some Korean guy has been poking around and asking questions about him. Vincenzo can definitely feel trouble closing in, but first he has to deal with the little troublemaker that's currently lounging in his apartment again. Chae-yeon has come to eat dinner and have drinks with Vincenzo. As they drink, Vincenzo reminisces about her father. He tells her that before he died, her father told him that an old-fashioned stickler like him can't defeat the bad guys anymore. It takes someone smarter, stronger, and far more shameless. And there's no one that fits that description more than Chae-yeon. Gee, thanks Dad. That night, they had a lot to drink. Chae-yeon expresses sadness at the fact that once Babel is defeated, she will need to part ways with Vincenzo. Then it becomes his turn to wake up and watch her as she sleeps peacefully on the coffee table. The cute moments between these two are not the focus of the show, but when they do come up, I enjoy them so much. And then it's back to business. Jeon Jung-woo still wants to demolish Gunga Plaza amidst all the bad press and plans to send a team of heavy arms to ensure that it happens this time. Speaking of his heavy arms, what happened to the Ant Company goons? Well, it turns out, after having lots of time to think things over in the freezer that Chairman Jeon locked them in, CEO Park and his minions decided to change careers and open up shop in Gunga Plaza. Bye Bye Balloon specializes in balloon travel with the main purpose of smuggling people out of Korea to China or something. What an innovative business idea. Their talents were wasted in kicking tenants out of old buildings. Thanks to their new police friends, Chae-yeon and Vincenzo were able to get a hold of the footage of the victim's family's vehicle moments before they died. They noticed that there was a new dent on the car after it came out from an underpass tunnel. Additionally, two of the deceased have a red mark on their neck based on the autopsy report. Based on the evidence, they believe that the car was hijacked in the tunnel and the victims were kidnapped and brought to the crime scene. They were killed there and the burning coal was placed in the car to make it look like they committed mass suicide. However, they were struggling to locate the vehicle used for the crime as it must have been under a false registration. The enemies are having a status meeting at this time as well. Miss Choi tells Jeon Jung-woo that they're making progress on the demolition, and with the death of the victims' families, Babel Chemicals are likely going to get away with not paying the damages. Miss Choi asks Jeon Jung-woo why he prefers to hide behind the scenes. Jeon Jung-woo explains that 1. It's fun, like a game, and 2. If things go wrong, he won't need to go to jail since people don't know he exists, and 3. It makes him feel like a god, controlling everything behind the scenes. Back to Team Vincenzo. They are discussing that Babel and the real boss likely have a kill team that's been doing all the dirty work for them. This kill team must be trusted by the real boss, and it's likely that they know his true identity. Vincenzo toys with the idea that if he should make himself the target of this kill team, perhaps he can capture one of them and make them reveal the real boss's identity. This plan greatly alarms Taec-yeon. Then the Gunga residents call Vincenzo and Taec-yeon to a meeting of their own. They express that they want to help Vincenzo defeat Babel, and as they're brainstorming, Taec-yeon thinks of a fun way to draw the real boss out. They set up an online parody news channel to report on the corruption of Babel and Ulsan law firm. They even reveal their theory that there is likely another person calling the shots because Chairman Jun seems very dumb. Jeon Jung-woo and his team also tune into this webcast, and knowing that Vincenzo's team are now on the trail of sniffing him out, he warns everyone to be extra careful not to give him away. Can I just say that this scene seems super far-fetched? They make it seem so easy to create a trending channel that can reach the target audience immediately. Well, I'll tell you from personal experience that it is not that easy. It also seems to me like the Gunga Plaza tenants are super immature, and their tactics reflect this as well. In contrast, Vincenzo is also setting his adult plans in motion. When CEO Han returns to his office, he sees a bloody knife on his desk and the letter C written in blood on the wall. He freaks out. When Miss Choi is doing laundry at night in the laundromat, a man pretending to be a zombie attacks her and causes her to fall. The zombie draws a C in blood on the laundromat window for Miss Choi to see when she wakes up, and she also freaks out. And finally, when Chairman Jun arrives at the parking garage, a remote-controlled toy truck chases after him with what looks like a bomb on its back. Needless to say, he also freaks out. When the countdown stops, confetti comes out of it along with a little flag that, you guessed it, has the letter C written in blood. These are clearly mafia intimidation tactics, and to confirm all of it, Jeon Jung-woo's research team returns to Korea and tells him that Vincenzo is a known consigliere and is feared by all the mafia families. He's known for his brutality. Jeon Jung-woo is strangely excited by this revelation, especially when he sees the photos of what Vincenzo did. Chairman Jun isn't having nearly as good a time as his brother. He freaks out when he learns that Vincenzo commonly leaves the letter C behind before and when he attacks his enemies. It stands for the Cassano family. It seems that Jeon Jung-woo finally considers Vincenzo as a worthy opponent now, as we see his kill team mobilize for action. Presumably, he has ordered a kill on Vincenzo. On the other hand, Taec-yeon can't decide if she's more afraid of Vincenzo killing people or Vincenzo being killed by people, so she refuses to leave his apartment, much to Vincenzo's frustration since he needs to go carry out his plan. At this moment, Jeon Jung-woo calls Taec-yeon and asks her to meet him right away near her Gunga Plaza office, claiming that he has information on Ulsan law firm. His intent is likely to lure her away so that his assassins can break into Vincenzo's home and kill him there. Vincenzo convinces her to go. Little does he know that it puts her in harm's way. After she leaves, Vincenzo puts on another episode of their viral show, putting words out there that he's going to go right now to investigate the underpass where the victims' families got kidnapped. It's his way of trying to get the assassins to come to him. Just when both Taec-yeon and Vincenzo leave the plaza, a group of suspicious-looking men show up. Since Ant Company is no more, these are the new and improved intimidators sent to chase the tenants out. Legend has it they're called the Twin Swords Gang, and they're the real deal. Just as the tenants are about to get into real trouble, one of the Gunga Plaza tenants that I never bothered to introduce before, Mr. Tak, turns up and literally stabs all the men with a pair of tailoring scissors, scaring them away. While Jeon Jung-woo is waiting for Taec-yeon, he watches Vincenzo's video and redirects his assassins to the underpass so they can catch and kill him there. Taec-yeon shows up, and Jeon Jung-woo transforms back into a clingy sidekick. He confesses that he has no information to share and he just wanted to see her. Before she could lecture him for wasting her time, Taec-yeon gets a frantic call from Mr. Na and learns that Vincenzo has left the plaza to go after the killers. She panics and gets up to leave, and Jeon Jung-woo offers to drive her wherever she wants to go. They pick up Mr. Na and Mr. Lee from the plaza and chase after Vincenzo. As Taec-yeon heads to his location, she gets so upset, fearing that something has gone terribly wrong. Even though he is pissed at her reaction, Jeon Jung-woo pretends to comfort. Anyone else panicking about the fact that the friggin' psycho is like actively helping them hunt himself? Meanwhile, Vincenzo waits in the underpass tunnel for his attackers. There's only 3 of them, and cliche as it may be, they shoot 100 rounds and he's able to dodge all of them and easily finish them off. Vincenzo gets access to one of the attacker's phones and sees the call history between him and someone labeled as chairman. He inflicts great pain on the guy until he confesses something that only Vincenzo could hear. And then finally, Taec-yeon and the gang show up. Everything slows down as Taec-yeon runs towards him and embraces him. Is it time for them to declare their love for each other now? No guys, this is a very serious show and there isn't time for that. Instead, Vincenzo declares to her that he now knows who is the real boss behind Babel Group. As he says this, he looks towards Jung Jung-woo, who stares back at him with a deadly expression on his face. Taec-yeon's gaze follows Vincenzo's to land on her trusty sidekick from Busan, clueless guy with a secret crush on her. And for this to be the way they find out Jung Jung-woo is the mastermind behind Babel is so intense. He's like right there in front of their eyes. He's also severely outnumbered, so they could technically easily finish him off right now. Why would he allow himself to end up in this position if he's not a total lunatic who's an extreme thrill seeker? I literally cannot wait for the next episode and have to go now to find out what happens next. Remember to subscribe and put on your notification, and I'll tell you all the juicy details in episode 11 of Vincenzo. Thank you. Bye.